Good evening and welcome to The Big Fight. Now, if you've taken a look at Delhi this week, it's been a rather strange and a somewhat disturbing week. Now, for many, many reasons. Of course, there's a haze hanging over Delhi because of a dust storm that there is, pollution. It's normally impossible to breathe in the National Capital Region all through winter, but the residents of the city say that it's okay, fine, we'll somehow manage not to breathe for 3 months because then summer's coming and after that we'll be able to breathe. But the haze has continued. So it's been hot, it's been dusty, heat and dust. And in the middle of all of this, an almost unprecedented showdown between the Lieutenant Governor and the Chief Minister, including the, I'm trying to find a word to describe it, the sight of the Chief Minister of Delhi actually being on dharna, on a sofa, you know. I'll show you the pictures as we go along, but here they are. These are the pictures of the Chief Minister actually on dharna, trying to find some way of getting the city to start to move again. And the LG has its own position. The IAS officers are also seem to be on some sort of a strike. So in the middle of everything, Delhi is not quite functioning. And then demands have started to come, not least by Arvind Kejriwal and by others, saying that it's time to rethink the status of Delhi. Maybe Delhi should become a state after all. The others will say, well, why don't we go the other way? Forget about all of this assembly and let's just have Delhi being run as a union territory directly by the central government in some form or the other. It's a constitutional crisis that needs to be resolved in some manner or the other, and we have a range of experts out here who will perhaps help us and find what the right solution is for Delhi, because this is really not the sort of an image that we should be having for the capital of our nation. Joining us to talk a lot more about all of this, Deepak Bhardwaj is with us, the General Secretary, Delhi Government Employees Welfare Association, which has been extremely unhappy with the Delhi government for a long period of time. Saurabh Bhardwaj is with us, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, will tell us why Arvind Kejriwal is on dharna and why he is protesting. Rajesh Sharma, leader of the BJP, it's great to have you with us as well. Abhishek Dutt is joining us, spokesperson of the Delhi Congress. Desh Ratan Nigam is with us, advocate, political commentator. Pawan Verma, somebody who spent many years in Delhi and is also a former diplomat, been a member of the bureaucracy, a bit as a diplomat, but maybe helping us understand how we can perhaps sort out some of this. And it's a great pleasure and a privilege to have with us Anjali Ila Menon, who's going to be here in her capacity as somebody who's a resident of the city of Delhi, wondering as to where the city is actually headed and where we're headed on all of this. So, why don't I start with you? And just to tell you all, in a couple of minutes, I'm going to be joined by Sheila Dikshit as well, former Chief Minister of Delhi, who will, perhaps tell us how she was able to run the city for 15 years without all of this drama. Saurabh?
I think you have to look everything in a perspective, in a context. The context is for last 4 months, IAS officers are not coming into the meetings called by the ministers, called by the Chief Minister. When we say that the governance in Delhi is at standstill, or when opposition parties are saying that we are not getting water, there's so much of pollution, even Arvind Kejriwal is saying the same. He's saying that for last 4 months, governance is at standstill because the government functions according to the policies, programs, directions of the elected government, that means the ministers, the Chief Minister, to the executive, that is the senior IAS officers, and they in turn execute the programs, policies of the government. Now, when IAS officers are not attending the meetings, there is a problem. So what will Chief Minister do? He wrote to the LG. He again wrote to the LG. The LG said, yes, I'll take care of it. Wait for some time. Then he again wrote to the LG saying that IAS officers' code of conduct says that they cannot go on strike. They cannot go on any kind of strike, whether it is a sit-in strike, pen-down strike.
One part of the history which you forgot to mention is that it's also rather unprecedented to have the Chief Secretary of any state, in fact, to have any senior bureaucrat being beaten up in the Chief Minister's
residence. That's an allegation. That is still sub judice. That's an allegation.
An allegation?
Yes, that is just an allegation.
He wasn't beaten up?
No, he was not.
Okay.
That is just an... Now, a Chief Minister has tried everything in the book, writing to the LG, meeting LG, the ministers met LG, saying that IAS officers cannot go on strike. And if they are on strike, you should invoke some CCS rules.
So we have a situation where the Chief Minister is saying the IAS officers cannot go on strike, but now he's gone on strike himself.
And the problem is for last 4 months, The central government is not taking any action against the IAS officers because it is the LG who is leading the strike. Now, Chief Minister has tried every trick in the book, and when then nothing is working, then he is holding a dharna. Just why? Why? Because so that the people of Delhi who elected the Chief Minister, these kids who have elected the Chief Minister, should know that the guy who they have elected, he is not allowed to work because the central government is promoting a strike by the IAS officers.
So I'm just going to show you. This is a banner put up by the IAS. I'm going to just come to the Deepak.
No, it is not IAS officers.
Okay, whoever, BJP.
It is,
they
it
say
is the
that we
BJP
are not on
MLAs.
strike. It's actually the Chief Minister who's on strike.
Yeah. So what? So look at the state. So look at the state of the Delhi Secretariat, which is a high security zone, where the Delhi police allowed the BJP MLAs to take control of the Secretariat and put this hoarding there.
I'm going to get into all of it. In case you're wondering in other parts of the country, why should we be so involved with whatever is happening in this drama in Delhi, and the rest of us should be allowed to get on with our business? Actually, it's a really important question, because this sort of a standstill where the entire governance of a very major city with 20-30 million people living in it can be paralyzed. If we can't find ways of resolving this, you could have this replicated elsewhere. Governors, chief ministers. Okay, you may not have the same constitutional problems that you do in Delhi, but it's important to figure out what happens if the IAS Association, for example, says, we're not going to work. Deepak ji, let me come to you. IAS officers are not allowed to be on strike. That's what he says. What is happening? How can bureaucrats refuse to cooperate with the elected government of a city, of a state, or any, whatever the place
एक भी अधिकारी इंक्लूडिंग आईएएस ऑफिसर चपरासी तक कोई स्ट्राइक पर नहीं है। पहली चीज, हिंदुस्तान में दिल्ली का संविधान आज नहीं बना, या 4 महीने पहले नहीं बना था। 1993 में दिल्ली का कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बना है। उसके बाद से जितनी इलेक्टेड गवर्नमेंट आई हैं, सारी गवर्नमेंट ने काम किया। सेंटर में भी गवर्नमेंट थी, दिल्ली में भी गवर्नमेंट थी, हर गवर्नमेंट ने पूरा कार्य किया। दिल्ली की जनता को कांग्रेस के रिजीम में 15 साल में जो कुछ मिला, लोगों ने देखा। लेकिन एक चीज मैं पूछना चाहता हूं, जितने लोग बैठे हुए हैं या आपके माध्यम से, अगर सौरभ जी जो कह रहे हैं, किसी सीनियर आईएएस ऑफिसर को रात को 12 बजे स्टेट के मुख्यमंत्री महोदय अपने कमरे में घर बुलाते हैं और वहां 12 आदमी प्रेजेंट रहते हैं, उनके साथ अभद्रता होती है, मान लिया मैंने कि एलिगेशन है, सपोज इट्स एन एलिगेशन, उसके बाद जो नरेंद्र बाल्यान जी ने कहा कि भाई अधिकारियों को मारना चाहिए अगर ये काम नहीं करें, इन्हें पीटना चाहिए। मैं ये जानना चाहता हूं कि हिंदुस्तान में हर एक आदमी अपने बच्चों को आईएएस गवर्नमेंट सर्वेंट बनाना चाहता है, लेकिन जितने लोग उस नौकरी में नहीं आते वो सब उन्हें गालियां देते हैं। आखिर डबल स्टैंडर्ड है क्यों?
नहीं, तो आप कह रहे आप क्या कह रहे हैं कि आप कह रहे हैं स्ट्राइक नहीं हो रहा है, पर आप कोऑपरेट नहीं कर रहे हैं क्योंकि
एक अंतर है,
सेक्रेटरी के साथ मारपीट हुई।
एक अंतर है इसमें, सारे अधिकारी कोऑपरेट कर रहे हैं, जितने बिजनेस रूल्स के अंदर कार्य हैं आईएएस ऑफिसर्स के लिए वो सारे कार्य हो रहे हैं। जब भी कोई रिटर्न मीटिंग बुलाई जाती है वो सारे मीटिंग में जाते हैं। प्रॉब्लम ये है कि एमएलएस के या मंत्रियों के जो पर्सनल कॉल्स हैं उनको वो एड्रेस नहीं कर रहे।
जस्ट इंटरप्ट, ही इज, लेट मी जस्ट इंटरप्ट, नो लेट मी जस्ट इंटरप्ट, ही इज नॉट एन आईएएस ऑफिसर, he is in a clerical grade. Second thing, no IAS officer will come on record and say, because that would be a lie. Why? Because the IAS Association's press release itself says, and I am quoting it from there, however, the officers are not attending routine meetings called by the ministers and the chief minister. Routine in Hindi means rozmarra ki meetings. So routine meetings is not personal meeting ki chief minister wants to have a Satyanarayan ki katha at his place. No, the routine meetings are routine meeting on ongoing clean air campaign. Discuss and review the achievements of targets of tea plantation. So these are the meetings for which IAS officers are not coming.
Why aren't IAS officers going to meetings?
मैं आपको सिंपल सी बात बता रहा हूँ, जितनी मीटिंग्स मिनिस्टर साहब रिटर्न में ऑर्डर करते हैं, फाइल में ऑर्डर करते हैं, वो सारी मीटिंग्स अटेंड करते हैं, सारे ऑफिसर्स।
But how can any bureaucrat decide कि I will attend this meeting, I will not attend the meeting? अगर ये सिस्टम हर एक स्टेट में हो जाए, अगर ये सिस्टम हर एक स्टेट में हो जाए कि ब्यूरोक्रेट्स डिसाइड करेंगे मुझे इस मीटिंग में जाना है,
हर एक स्टेट में, हर एक स्टेट में आई एम जस्ट आस्किंग, वो ये नहीं कहते कि अधिकारियों को मारेंगे।
विक्रम जी, आई एम जस्ट आस्किंग वन थिंग, so this could, with all respect, I am asking one thing. This is a CCS conduct rules.
which is applicable on him also.
Okay, so
he can quote me just one rule which allows them to decide which.
So I'm going to ask Pawan Verma.
One
Hang on. I want to come to Pawan Verma on this, and I'm going to come to you. Pawan, help us sort this out. I'm just going to ask you to go a couple of hats back in your own career. As a senior bureaucrat, in which you have been, and for others in the bureaucracy, can any bureaucrat decide that, okay, look, I've been, okay, let's all, whatever apparently happened in the Chief Minister's residence was obviously shocking. It's a matter which is sub judice, it is being investigated. But can bureaucrats decide we are not going to cooperate with the government? Because if that becomes a precedent, where does it end up?
I think that in case the allegation about the Chief Secretary having been physically assaulted in the home of the Chief Minister is true, it radically changes the situation. But otherwise, in any situation in this country where there is rule of law, there is an elected government and bureaucrats, be they clerical or of the IAS or other services, cannot have a situation where they declare in an organized manner that they will not cooperate with the elected government of the day. That's the truth of it. And if they are doing it, they are violating the code of conduct rules.
They are violating the code of conduct.
Without a doubt.
So let me just come to you, because obviously in this case, whether it is the BJP, whether even the Congress party, not necessarily being very sympathetic to the Aam Aadmi party. And I'm again saying they have a point that whatever happened with the Chief Secretary was also unprecedented. But does it set a dangerous precedent if bureaucrats say we will not cooperate? On the, especially if it is happening on the say-so of the Lieutenant Governor and the central government.
Bureaucrats have categorically cleared that we have been attending programs, we have been attending meetings, and I will be saying he is bringing here few notices. They have clearly declared they should file a suit against them, that they have told that we have attended several meetings. If they are saying that they have attended several meetings, then definitely Saurav is bringing 2-3 meetings where they are not present. And since last 4 days, they are showing that.
Hundreds of meetings.
One more
all
thing.
the meetings.
So you should bring all those 100 meetings list of that. Second thing.
I mean, we won't have time right now for him to go through 100.
I can send him.
Second thing, I've told Saurav in previous meeting also, there is a system, there is rule 17 of business of transaction meeting, where every IAS need to report to their concerned minister every week. And if he has not done the duty properly, then he can put so cause to them. Whether all the IAS, I am saying he will put one notice that one so cause was given. Whether all the IAS have been issued so cause by their minister? No. Whether they have moved that these rules are not followed to the tribunal or to court? No. They just want to play drama. I can say it is not Aam Aadmi party. It is A1 actor party, which everyone will rely and everyone will categorically say that they made Delhi worse like termite. They have spoiled Delhi. And
who is responsible for the state of Delhi? Look, I don't think there's going to be much disagreement that Delhi has been sliding. Who is responsible is an open-ended question. We will come to that.
The one who is ruling.
Let me get him to. Here's the problem. It's not very clear whether anybody is ruling in Delhi, because they are saying what do we do? It's the central government. Central government says they should be doing it. It's a mess.
I think one thing.
It's a real mess.
I think without getting into the allegations against the Chief Minister's MLAs for the Chief Secretary, without getting into those allegations, I just want to put forth all different examples. For example, Haryana's BJP chief's son molested the daughter of an IAS officer. Wait a second. His FIR was not registered. After a lot of hue and cry, the FIR was registered and the IAS officer was transferred. Ashok Khemka has been transferred hundreds of times. There is an IAS officer named Mr. Bansal.
IAS should not be cooperating there also.
No. I am saying Mr. Bansal, along with his whole family, his wife and son and daughter, committed suicide in Delhi 6 months back, writing that CBI harassed them. The central government harassed them and they committed suicide. If IAS officers are so sensitive about these things, they should have not been attending the meetings of
Secretary
Prime
being
Minister
allegedly
also.
beaten up in the Chief Minister's residence is a rather
if it is about the sensitivity of the IAS officers and if it is about their pride, they should not attend the central government.
Can I just get him in, then I want to come to the others?
एक मिनट देखिए, एक चीज कहूंगा मैं, हरियाणा में हुआ या किसी और स्टेट में हुआ, इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि किसी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी को दिल्ली में ये राइट मिल जाता है कि दिल्ली के आईएएस ऑफिसर को मारेंगे.
Okay.
अगर वहां गलत है तो यहाँ भी गलत है.
Have you
कुछ
heard
गलत
of
है.
any state chief minister calling at midnight an officer like chief secretary and thrashing? And thrashing? No. He is a
Nobody
clear
was
liar.
thrashed.
Today is
Okay.
saying it
Nobody
is
was
not
thrashed.
Okay, Mike, can
They are
I
clear
let
liars.
me get
Nobody was thrashed.
let me get
It's
the
a
others in.
concatenated story.
Let me get the others in. I'm about to go to Sheila Dikshit because given what is happening right now, I have to say all of us are wondering how she was able to run Delhi for 15 years in some manner or the other. Now, what is the Congress party's position on all of this? Because frankly, the Congress party seems to be changing its position every 36 hours.
It started from the beginning, like they've been discussing. Madanlal Khurana ji was the chief minister of Delhi and Congress was in center. After which Sheila ji was the chief minister and Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji was the prime minister of Delhi, India. Even at that time, I've never heard this confrontation. And even when Arvind Kejriwal got re-elected, he very well knew the character of Delhi. This was his second term as a chief minister. He was already in office for 3 months. He knew exactly what the character of Delhi is. Giving Saurabh a benefit of doubt for 3 months, these bureaucrats have not been cooperating with them. Let's go 3 months by. There were 5,200 buses in Delhi. After they've come into part, there are only 3,800 buses in Delhi. Not even a single bus has been purchased by Aam Aadmi Party.
Okay, but hang on. But to the extent, can I just ask you one question? To the extent that what Saurabh seems to be, and he's saying two things. One is that the IAS are not cooperating. What the Aam Aadmi Party is also saying is something slightly different, and I want to get your take on that. They are saying there is almost a campaign by the central government, and this central government, more than any central governments in the past, it is different to Atal Bihari Vajpayee or what Madanlal Khurana may have done with the Congress government, that they are not allowing the Aam Aadmi Party to function. They've been arresting Aam Aadmi Party MLAs. There's been a systematic effort not to allow them to function.
See, they've been arresting even there have been cases against all political leaders from the opposition party, and that is what politics is all about. But being a chief minister of Delhi, you have to be more responsible.
It's okay to be arresting people, and that's part of politics.
If Mr. Modi has been doing this, then Mr. Kejriwal must realize as a chief minister, he has to play a bigger role. If the LG is not cooperating, he has to bend his way and get the work done. If he today gets his ego, sits in an AC room and does not cooperate, that means what's going to happen in it.
Okay.
Then
So
Delhi will suffer the way it is.
Pavan.
I must say I'm seeing the most remarkable hypocrisy being expressed on this show. The BJP and the Congress have both said that the current situation in Delhi, where you have an elected chief minister for which we all go out and vote, but he is actually crippled by the powers that don't or have not been given to him. This is an unsustainable situation, and what I want to say is, when the BJP puts it in its manifesto that they want a statehood for Delhi, when Congress, when Sheila Dikshit ji was chief minister, in spite of having cordial or better relations with the Lieutenant Governor, said that Delhi needs statehood. Can you have a situation, Vikram, think about it, where, look at the situation, the MCD has an elected mayor that's not under the chief minister. Yeah. The NDMC has a governing council which has a mayor which is appointed by the central government, of which the chief minister is a member. The National Capital Territory, the head is the Lieutenant Governor, not the Chief Minister whom you've elected, and the Delhi Development Authority, the all-powerful DDA, reports to the Ministry of Urban Development of the central government with the LG as the chief, but not to the Chief Minister. The Delhi Police is not reporting to the Chief Minister, but works under the Union Home Ministry, in spite of an order by the Supreme Court in 1996 that they should have autonomy. In other words, you have an elected chief minister. He has a bungalow, a car, and the title chief minister in a city which is 17 million people. It is larger than 180 countries. In that city, you have a chief minister who cannot control law and order, public order, land, even transfer and appointment of his own officials. Everything now depends on the Lieutenant Governor. Can you run this city like this?
Okay, I'm about to ask, let's actually ask the lady who did it. Sheila Dikshit is about to join us. 15 years she did it, and actually there was a lot of transformation and development in Delhi. I'm seeing Desh Ratan nodding his head. Does that mean you agree that when Sheila Dikshit was in power, there was change? And before that, Madanlal Khurana and others. It's not that it hasn't happened in the past.
Let me tell you, this is all about coordination and cooperation, not conflict. In fact, conflict feeds the ambition of Kejriwal to become a national leader. So it is for that reason he is resorting to these tricks and conflicts. And when he is in conflict with the center, he thinks that his image is enhanced a lot in the eyes of the nation.
Anjali?
I just want to give you an overview.
As a resident, I mean, do you think that, I mean, what do the citizens of Delhi do in the middle of all this?
I'll just tell you what I think. Pawan has cleared many of the points that I was about to bring up, which is that no chief minister, forget this party or that party, I'm apolitical, I don't care which chief minister is there, but no chief minister can function like this. The municipality is not under him, the police is not under him, and people ask, how did Sheila Dikshit do it? She did it through sheer diplomacy. There were occasions where we needed, for some reasons for art, the police to intervene. She very politely asked the police commissioner, and he cooperated with her. She did it through sheer diplomacy, but she also had a hard time. Imagine having to go back to the lieutenant governor for every single thing. And all the points that Pawan mentioned, no government can function like this. It is time. Delhi has grown so large that it is now time for it to have statehood.
Is it time to change the status of Delhi? Because this is the national capital at the end of the day, and we obviously cannot have the situation continuing. I'm going to turn to that question, but let's first go to Sheila Dikshit, who's patiently, watching the person who actually did run the city in the same circumstances, I might add, for a period of 15 years. So, Sheila ji, thank you so much for joining us. First of all, wanted to ask you, what do you think of all this latest round of drama that we've been seeing in Delhi, and of course the dharna that we are seeing by Arvind Kejriwal?
Well, I don't approve of what he's doing at all, because after all he is the chief minister of this state, and chief ministers are not expected to sit on dharnas, least of all at the lieutenant governor's house. What message is he giving? What is he trying to convey? That he's failed in everything.
But Sheila ji, what Arvind Kejriwal is saying, and he's saying very clearly, is that not just now, but for a period of time, he's been sabotaged. This LG, the LG before that, IAS officers, they're sabotaging his work, and they're not allowing him to function as the Chief Minister of Delhi.
Vikram Chandra ji, the Congress ruled Delhi for 15 years. Not one day did we have a problem, because the limitations constitutionally, what are the limitations of Delhi? Delhi is not a state, it's a union territory. First he must understand that, and if you were not willing to accept this as a union territory, you should not have contested over here. You're not a state. So you have to understand that, and then raise your voice. He's not been stopped from doing anything. He is finding excuses not to be able to do anything.
I'm going to come back to Saurabh and others to get a reaction. But just wanted to ask you, now that we have you on the line, how did you manage as Chief Minister for 15 years? It should also be noted perhaps that a large amount of the time when you were the Chief Minister, or others may have been before, it was a Congress government at the center for a large part of the time. And some of the time there was Atal Bihari Vajpayee, perhaps there was a slightly different working relationship. So how were you able to function at that time?
Look, they never tried to sabotage me at all. In fact, they helped me to get the metro. They helped me to make CNG and whatever, because remember, Delhi is the capital of this country. So whether the government belongs to the capital of India, the whole India government, or it's a local government, their interest is to make Delhi into the world's best city. And that is what we have to aim at.
Right. It's interesting. You seem to be almost...
Kejriwal is finding all kinds of excuses how not to be able to do anything.
I just wanted to say, you almost seem to be absolving the BJP and the central government of all blame in this present showdown, which is interesting.
No, why should I blame them? They don't come into the picture. The work is all on the shoulders of Mr. Kejriwal, who is the Chief Minister of the city. If he has any complaint with the central government, then he has to tell the people and say that, look, the central government does this, which is not acceptable. He has never said anything like that.
Okay, so last question. Isn't the solution, as Pawan Verma was saying just a short while back, and Anjali and others, isn't the solution to say we can't have a long-term situation where there's divided authority and 3 different people with power? Make Delhi into a state and actually have a uniform authority that should function. Isn't that the answer?
No, if you want to make Delhi into a state, you have to change the constitution. And when you change the constitution, it has to go to parliament. The government has to change the constitution and say, yes, we make it a state like Haryana or Punjab or whatever else you might say. But at the moment, it's a union territory, and you have to work within the confines of what that status as a union territory allows it to happen. For instance, police is not with the Delhi government. Land is not with the Delhi government. But whenever the Delhi government needs land, it goes to the Lieutenant Governor, who gives it. Nobody has ever refused anything to us because it is for the good of Delhi.
All right, Sheila Dikshit there saying that if you want to get the centre to cooperate with you, it is always possible to do so. Thank you so much, Sheila Dikshit, for joining us. So, you're not getting much sympathy from Sheila Dikshit. It seems to be saying you're doing a lot of drama.
Yes. I can show at least 3 dozen interviews of the same Sheila Dikshit, where she is telling about the confrontations and where she is demanding the statehood for Delhi. Second, those were the different times, and these are the different times. You can talk about cooperation and coordination with the central government, but I would like to remind Congress about the last 3 years with the Modi government at the center, how the governor of Uttarakhand and Arunachal Pradesh was misused to dismiss their governments, and then they had to go to the court and get back their governments. How recently in Karnataka, the governor appointed by the central government invited Yediyurappa to form a government, and then they were cursing the central government and the governor. They had to go to the midnight to the Supreme Court.
If the situation is different this time, you're saying it's because the BJP...
If it was about coordination and cooperation, just last minute. If it was about coordination and cooperation, the Congress chief minister at Puducherry would not be yelling at...
You can't compare Puducherry to Delhi. They're two different... Yesterday also you had the same discussion.
Had a lot of problems.
We don't have anything to tell about Delhi.
It's a hypocrisy of Congress.
The Arvind Kejriwal is sitting in the...
Actually, what I'm really bemused about is how is the Congress party and the BJP getting together to attack the Aam Aadmi party out here?
I think this is so shameful of Congress that they are so hypocrites.
Kejriwal has done nothing in Delhi.
I think
all he's doing
the country is watching Congress.
Dharna, I fail to understand. Sometimes the MLAs are on...
I'm actually quite interested. The Congress party is doing a better job at defending the BJP than the BJP is. What's happening out here?
I fail to understand. He's sitting in an AC room doing protests. You have BJP MLA sitting outside CM's house. What's happening in Delhi today? We have no water. Pollution levels are very high. And you must understand one thing.
Okay.
Usually pollution levels happen after Diwali when there's ample water in the city. I am in the municipal corporation. This is my second term. I'm telling you, we have no water in Delhi. Imagine that short-term process that happened yesterday, sprinklings of water. You don't have water in Delhi to do this at this month because June, there are water crises.
It's a dust storm. Okay, but it's also a dust storm right now. It's not necessarily the... You can't blame Arvind Kejriwal for a dust storm. I mean, that's not...
Crisis, I can blame him.
You can blame him for a lot of things.
Water crisis.
Yes, but hang on one second. One. Can I just ask you, sir? I just want to ask you. His point is that if things are different this time from what they were earlier, it's because the central government is taking a more if I'm paraphrasing you correctly, Saurabh, with every non-BJP government, and in Delhi they have the levers to really put the squeeze on Arvind Kejriwal because they have more powers to be able to do it here. A governor in another state doesn't have as much power to intervene as the lieutenant government.
Whenever they get a chance, they do it.
Listen, one thing, they are saying that since last 3 months, this strike is going to be 4 months, strike is going on. But last year, still this water crisis was there, this electricity crisis was there.
No, they are saying the lieutenant governor's not been cooperating. It's not just a strike. Hang on. Just to be clear, Saurabh is not just saying it's the bureaucrats. He says that the central government is in general...
Since last 3 months only, the bureaucrats
us from day one.
He said you stopped him from working from day one.
They have been troubling us from day one, but now they have, escalated it by creating a strike of IAS officers.
So since last 3.5 years, they haven't done anything. They don't need full statehood to give water. They don't need full statehood to give public transportation. They do you know one thing, one type of hypocrisy? They used to put advertisements behind all autos that for all these things they do. She's trying to blame the center, Sheila Dikshit, and now they are saying that same thing. So that's the thing. He got 95% seats fighting against corruption. Now he is the highest corrupt chief minister of the country, where PWD scam, ration scam.
That's a rather strong
scam,
allegation
all
to
type
make.
of
Saurabh,
scams.
no.
His co-brother's son is in jail. I mean, you can see.
Saurabh, hang on. Okay, we are going a bit all over the place.
You
Anjali.
have said the PWD scam comes under them. I'm sorry to say that the PWD is not under the Aam Aadmi Party.
I'm saying his co-brother was involved. His co-brother is involved. You know it well. You know it well. His co-brother's son is in jail.
One second. Can I?
A direct relation.
I just want to say one thing. Our 21 MLAs have been arrested, handcuffed, and taken throughout the constituency, and they were arrested. Out of the 14 cases have been decided, they have all been acquitted. 7 are yet to be decided, and they'll get acquitted too.
Okay.
They will never be.
But I think he's also waiting. I just want to say one thing. I congratulate Sheila Dikshit ji for something which I don't know how it exists within the constitutional division of roles. She called it diplomacy. What does diplomacy mean? Diplomacy means a particular charm by which you deal with the lieutenant governor. It requires a certain level of linguistic finesse with which
Wisdom.
Okay.
Wisdom.
So in her case, we give her full marks for that. But I also want to say, perhaps, Saurabh, the Aam Aadmi Party can learn these skills.
Quid pro quo.
However, I can say this, and it doesn't apply only to your government. Any government which is elected to Delhi to work for the citizens of Delhi, if the central government decides and is from a different political party to ensure that the chief minister's functioning is handicapped or straitjacketed or inadequate or below par, institutionally they have the powers to do it, and that is unacceptable.
So there are two aspects.
And they are doing it. That is the problem. They have been doing it consistently ever since this new chief minister came.
Okay. So there are two aspects to this, right? One is whether there is something about the Aam Aadmi Party which is taking on a more confrontationist role than would otherwise be done. Second is a more systemic issue. And the systemic issue that is being flagged by both Pawan and by Anjali out here is that it is always possible. Okay, it's happening to the Aam Aadmi Party right now. Maybe Sheila Dikshit and Madan Lal Khurana, whoever else, Sahib Singh Varma, were able to handle it through diplomacy.
Sorry, maybe the government of the time was not giving them such a hard time.
Okay, that's also possible. So whether they were being diplomatic, whether the central government was being, but in any situation where you have a khichdi of authority, where it's not very clear who is in charge and for what, there is the recipe for a mess. So is it not time to try and resolve this, not just in Delhi, but in any other place where potentially there could be a conflicts of interest or where there's not a clear authority? You should have somebody who's in charge. If we don't want to have Delhi as a state which has full powers to the chief minister, maybe we should go back to a system where the central government should run the whole thing. Do it something like what the US has in DC or happens in other places. But actually one person should be in charge. That's what logically makes sense.
In fact, I was about to give the examples which you've just quoted. Take the example of Canberra also, Mexico City also, where they have lesser autonomy than Delhi. And they're doing very well.
London has its own systems.
London also. And they're doing very well. In fact, in Washington, D.C.
But London, the mayor has a lot of powers actually.
Yes. In fact, if you look at Washington, D.C., they are not even allowed to take decisions which matters to them. It is the federal government which takes the decision out there. And they are running perfectly fine. And this khichdi that you talk about, Kejriwal knew about it before contesting elections. He knew into what circumstances he's getting into, and he was supposed to not suffer for it, to work, cooperate with the central government, not to raise every second day conflicts, which actually, as I said, feeds its political ambitions. It keeps him into the limelight, always at the national level. So it also, feeds his ambition to become a, larger than life figure.
One thing which everybody is forgetting.
Saurabh, can I just say one thing to you? I don't, ma'am saying it's an unfair allegation. I'll tell you one thing, but it is perfectly possible, perhaps even correct, that yes, the central government has got no desire necessarily to cooperate with Arvind Kejriwal, but at the same time, let me tell you something. The day after he won the election, somebody who works in, just outside my house, I met, he was looking rather morose. I said, why are you looking morose? He said, मैं आपको बताऊं, 5 साल दिल्ली में कोई काम नहीं होगा, क्योंकि हर दिन जब भी काम होना है, केजरीवाल साहब आके कहेंगे कि मैं काम करना चाहता हूं, पर केंद्र सरकार मुझे काम नहीं करने दे रही है. This was one day after the election. This was long before the arrests and all had started. So there was this perception even at that time that this might be a situation.
One important thing which everybody is missing is Sheila Dikshit had far more constitutional powers than Arvind Kejriwal, because in 2015, early 2015, central government brought a notification. Look, Sheila Dikshit had anti-corruption branch with her. Sheila Dikshit had the powers to transfer and allocate portfolios to the IAS officers. She had powers to take administrative action, write ACRs for the officers who are working for her. So she had a control over bureaucracy. Mr. Modi brought this notification by MHA where he took away all these powers. These powers came to Delhi in 1996. Mr. Madan Lal Khurana had a very hard time from 93 to 96. He resigned. Then Sahib Singh Verma was there, and it was not a UPA government. It was a government of a third front, which was so sensitive for the demands. Whatever good has happened to Delhi, let me tell you, has happened only when there is a government of third front. Neither Congress nor BJP, they have been asking for statehood of Delhi for last 56 years. From 1956, the BJP and the Congress have been demanding statehood, but neither Congress nor BJP, when in center, granted statehood.
Okay, can I ask both of you this question? Hang on, I'll come to all of you one by one. Let me just ask you this. To have the statehood of Delhi, it's something which the BJP itself has raised, the Congress has raised, it has been in manifestos. What's wrong with that demand?
I don't say that there is anything wrong in that demand, but at the same time...
Then grant it.
But at the same time, do you say that, will you take that reason you were elected as a chief minister in a national capital territory of Delhi, and today the metro file is stopped for 2 years, the phase 4 part. And at the same time, you say that Lokpal, they contested for Lokpal, and Lokpal file was kept in their chief minister, at the minister's place for 9 months.
After being rejected by the center.
They don't want to bring Lokpal, they don't want to have metros, they don't want to do anything. They've always wanted to blame and tell lie, and they have given in court that they always tell lie. It was in the case of Nitin Gadkari, in the case of Arun Jaitley, they have categorically accepted
Can I ask you a question?
Lie.
Let's just hear what Arvind Kejriwal says about the fact that he is willing to work for the BJP if you grant statehood. This is what Arvind Kejriwal said, rather interestingly, just a day or two back.
अगर वो दिल्ली को पूर्ण राज्य का दर्जा देते हैं लोकसभा चुनाव के पहले, तो दिल्ली की सारी जनता उनका समर्थन करेगी. हम उनका प्रचार करेंगे, दिल्ली के घर घर में जाके कहेंगे इनका साथ दो. लेकिन अगर उन्होंने लोकसभा चुनाव के पहले दिल्ली को पूर्ण राज्य का दर्जा नहीं दिया, तो दिल्ली की जनता उनको कहेगी भारतीय जनता पार्टी दिल्ली छोड़ो.
Can I ask you a question? Here you have got a chance to have Arvind Kejriwal working for you, doing prachar for the BJP. What's wrong with giving Delhi statehood?
Everyone knows it very categorically that now Arvind Kejriwal don't have any following in MCD after he has got lost. He thrashed the chief secretary due to sheer frustration, I can say.
Okay, Manik, what's wrong with giving Delhi statehood? I'm going to get all of you to come in on this.
One simple line. Their MPs. Okay, Mama, I'll say.
Why are you exaggerating so much? Now you're saying he thrashed.
No, in his residence, in his presence at midnight, in his MLAs are thrashing. And one thing I will say, his one MLA comes out and says that they should be beaten. How can they say?
Okay,
are
fine.
they Gundas? Are they hooligans?
Whatever happened out there, I'm trying to find a solution.
They are Gundas and hooligans.
They
are.
We have three MPs from the, we've got member of parliament from the Aam Aadmi Party. Never ever they've raised this issue in the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha for full statehood. One second. Now you have three more. You got Sanjay Singh from Delhi.
We have
never raised it. 1 second.
Okay, but why don't you raise it?
1 second. A chief minister with 10% attendance in the assembly. Let's talk about two things. First of all, his term at the moment, he's finished 3.5 years. He's got 1.5 years more to go. Seeing the fact that nothing has happened in Delhi, he's heading for a stage where he'll say, I was not allowed to work, so please vote for me again.
But he
at the
allowed
moment,
to work.
1 second, ma'am, he's been voted. He knew exactly what he's getting into, and it is his responsibility to fulfill all the
Can we now solve the issue by giving Delhi statehood?
The way.
So I will add one thing. A chief minister in 2017 attending assembly for less than 10%. It is never there in independent India.
We've heard both the Congress and the BJP having things. Okay, now come back to Delhi statehood. Is that the solution?
I think that, frankly, as I said right in the beginning, the current situation as it prevails in Delhi is unsustainable, and such confrontations will continue to happen, and unfortunately the people of Delhi will suffer.
They are suffering.
Let me say to you let me say to you, I'm surprised. I put aside my political hat now. I'm surprised at the manner in which the BJP and the Congress are today on one side against an elected government in Delhi, when both the parties were, before even Aam Aadmi Party was formed, the most vociferous proponents for statehood for Delhi. In fact, it's in the manifesto of the BJP.
Both of them.
Mr. Vijay Goyal, in the very last session of the Rajya Sabha, raised the question of statehood again, a BJP senior MP. The Congress has asked for it continuously. Now, they are outside and there is a third party in power who is facing, or which is facing, a problem due. And I must say this to my friends who are my allies also.
I was just about to say, I'm pointing out, the Congress is trying to get an anti-BJP front, and yet they are attacking the Aam Aadmi Party out here.
I want to say, and I want to say,
all the parties are attacking for the public, because the public of Delhi is suffering.
Please, sir, one second. Let me finish. I am surprised that both of them, being now outside the government, are criticizing a particular government, I think without fully taking into account one factor, which is that perhaps although the Aam Aadmi Party, Saurabh ji, is a difficult party and some of your MLAs are beyond control, which is facing a consciously confrontational policy by the central government. You can have a situation where even though you belong to different political parties, in the interests of the people of Delhi, which is like a bigger than, as I said, at least 180 countries in the world, you can have a situation where an LG and a CM cooperate with maturity, even though it's a union territory. But you cannot have a situation where the central government decides that we will not allow, if wherever possible, for an elected chief minister to work.
So you're saying the central government is doing that?
One sentence only. If this has happened now, in spite of the weaknesses of the Aam Aadmi Party in terms of diplomacy, if it can happen to Congress or to BJP tomorrow, if the central government is of a different political party. So essentially, we as citizens of Delhi must think, do we want our good, or do we want this kind of wrangling going on between parties, each trying to justify the current situation and saying you went into it with your eyes open, I went into it with my eyes open, not knowing that I'll be tripped 6 times on the way.
Okay, so you're saying the central government is out to get them. Anjali Lemon.
Let's get back to the central question, which was, should Delhi have statehood? Now, to give statehood to Delhi is not going to be very easy, because Delhi, the whole city is full of central government institutions. There are museums, there are offices, and the Delhi police, and how will they
security
be able
for
to,
embassies?
Sir,
how will they be,
Either they should.
There is a solution.
that solution has to be found with negotiations.
But surely this is something which all parties should be able to agree on.
But
They've all asked for it at various times.
Essentially, I think statehood for Delhi is eventually inevitable. The way that Delhi is growing is becoming huge. If it isn't a state with its own chief minister and other institutions, it is not going to work.
दीपक जी जो स्टेटहुड की बात है, क्या आपको लगता है उससे कुछ आसानी होगी?
ये ना पॉलिटिकल मैटर है और हम गवर्नमेंट सर्वेंट हैं, तो पॉलिटिकली कहना बड़ा मुश्किल होगा. एक सेकंड,
कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मैटर.
1 सेकंड मैडम, वो अलग बात है. मैं एक बात कहना चाहूंगा. सौरभ जी ने कहा कि दिल्ली के अंदर जो गवर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉइज हैं या आईएएस ऑफिसर्स हैं, उनको एलजी साहब की इंस्टिगेशन की वजह से वो स्ट्राइक पे हैं. पहली चीज तो ये है कि लोग कोई आदमी स्ट्राइक पे नहीं है. और दूसरी बात ये, मुझे नौकरी करते हुए 33 साल हो गए. 33 साल के इतिहास में पहली बार मैंने ऐसा देखा कि हमारे ऑफिसर्स के आईएएस ऑफिसर्स और बाकी सारे ऑफिसर्स अब डरते हैं किसी भी एमएलएज या एमपी जो मिनिस्टर्स हैं उनके पास जाते हुए कि भाई यहाँ कैमरा लगा होना चाहिए, इसकी रिकॉर्डिंग होनी चाहिए, ये सारी चीजें होती हैं. इतने खौफ के माहौल में कोई भी ऑफिसर अपने पूरे दिल से कैसे काम करेगा? और मैं
थोड़ा सा बता दूं. देखिए, मैं एक मिनट दीपक जी, मैं आपके बारे में थोड़ा बता दूं. देखिए, ये सरासर झूठ बात है. आईएएस ऑफिसर्स को छोड़ के सारे अधिकारी, चाहे वो क्लर्क हों, चाहे वो जेई हों, चाहे वो इंजीनियर हों, चाहे वो जेडआर हों, सब लोग काम कर रहे हैं. ये कहना गलत है कि लोग डर रहे हैं. सब काम कर रहे हैं और पूरा काम कर रहे हैं. सिर्फ आईएएस ऑफिसर्स काम नहीं कर रहे हैं. ये बात.
बट बारे में ये जो इल ट्रीटमेंट की बात है, कई राज्य हैं जहां आईएएस अफसर के साथ सही बर्ताव नहीं होता है, अन्य ब्यूरोक्रेट्स के साथ सही बर्ताव नहीं होता है। ये जो स्ट्राइक की बात है, शायद दिल्ली में हम लोग पहली बार
रह गई थी, एक मिनट रह गई थी बात।
Can I just ask? I want to just turn to the people out here. I want to ask you, now, before I end this program, you're all residents of Delhi. I want to do a snap, unscientific poll for the situation right now. How many would blame the Delhi government, Arvind Kejriwal? Okay. How many would blame the central government? Okay, so it's somewhat mixed as to whom you're blaming. So it's a slightly confused picture. All right, who has the solution for this problem? Tell us, we'll quickly elect you Chief Minister. Okay, you're the man. Chief Minister next. Yeah, give him the mic.
My simple solution to this problem is that you have to look upon the welfare first and the politics later. We, as the residents of Delhi, we do not feel Arvind Kejriwal working as the authority of a chief minister. And that's the basic problem.
Given the current situation, BJP, Aam Aadmi Party, Congress, all of them have come up with a viable plan in this discussion, that is give Delhi statehood. But nobody on this panel or on the public stage has addressed 3-4 basic problems when it comes to Delhi being a state. First of all, how are you controlling the population? Right now, the population has started moving towards the NCR region. Once Delhi is made a state, the NCR gets divided between Haryana, Punjab, Uttar Pradesh. How do you handle the people? Secondly, Delhi as a city has very little natural resources. It gets most of the part from the outside. How are you going to manage that? To
Natural
address
resources are not a problem. The first one is a viable issue.
Thirdly, I guess the most important issue, will any central government accept this to work under state jurisdiction if Delhi is made a state?
Fine. Just one line from every one of you to finish it up. Find a solution. We know the problem. Find me a solution. Find me a solution quickly.
Solution simple है. हम लोगों को कि ऐसा माहौल बनाना चाहिए ताकि सब लोग, सेंटर हो चाहे स्टेट हो चाहे एम्प्लॉइज हो, सब लोग मिलके दिल्ली के लोगों के लिए काम कर पाएं।
बड़ा
ज्ञान नहीं है, ज्ञान नहीं है, ये एक स्टेटमेंट है जो पब्लिकली ना बोले कि भाई हम एम्प्लॉइज को मारेंगे पीटेंगे, ऐसी स्टेटमेंट
न दीजिए। माहौल बनना चाहिए। That's the solution.
I think
one line solution quickly.
पब्लिकली ना बोले वैसे कर सकते हैं।
अच्छा।
हाँ, मैं यही कह रहा हूँ भाई, मैं यही कह रहा हूँ।
Okay, quick.
अच्छा। I think the only problem is that there is a seat of central government in Delhi, but there is a very easy solution for that. The central government seat, the embassies, and that VIP area comes under Lieutenant's Delhi. The Lieutenant's Delhi can be kept under the central government, but I think if there is a molestation in Najafgarh or there is a theft in GK1 M Block market, the central government should not be concerned about it. It should be under the state government.
Reduce it down to an actual capital region, which is where the embassies and the central
and make rest of it a state.
Basically, I can say that the chief minister should stop threatening the IS officer, or the LG even told that he was threatened, and he met the LG just half an hour before this all drama
I'm asking
started.
for a long-term solution to solving the problems.
Half an hour before this drama started, he met the LG. So he has repeatedly told that the officers are not on strike. So you cannot stop the thing if it is
there's
not
no
on
long-term
strike.
problem. It's an Arvind Kejriwal problem.
Arvind Kejriwal's drama, which is the problem.
Long-term problem.
Long-term solution. What Saurabh has said and what we all feel about the statehood, this is something that must be debated in the parliament. Let their member of parliament raise this issue. Let there be a natural debate. But currently, whether it's the CM or the LG, they must move forward and save Delhi at the moment, because otherwise for the next 1.5 years...
What is the party stand? It will be debated. What is the Congress party stand?
Okay, fine. Let's get final thoughts from everyone here.
Statehood is not the answer. Some delegation of power under various statutes can be considered and debated upon. And the moment you think of making it a statehood, imagine the tax liability of the Delhites would go tremendously high, because there is a lot of subsidies given by the central government. And
here
let me tell you,
your platform, Saurabh was just now threatening him. Let me see what you are doing, how you are supporting this government.
Come on.
Now he was doing. You agree to that?
मैंने बोला कि आप political बात करते हैं.
This is the thing. So they on this on a media base also. It is ridiculous.
Pavan.
Statehood is possible. Delhi pays 1.25 lakh crores as tax. It has got a size. No, let me finish. I'll take 30 seconds more. Its economic size is that of Kuwait or Hungary. And from the taxes you and I pay, what comes to the Delhi government is 5% as against the division of financial powers, which is normally 40% to the state. So the elected representatives are getting 5%.
So you are wrong in your data.
No, he's right.
Post GST, you
Okay,
not
fine.
So 5%.
I'm really trying to
there's
wrap
no
this show
shortage.
somehow.
There's no shortage of money. What is in short supply today is political will. The very parties who talked of statehood are today concerned more about immediate power rather than long-term good for Delhi.
Anjali, last word
Well,
from you on the show.
the statehood question will take time. It's not a solution for today's impasse where these ministers are on dharna. I think that the immediate solution to stop this impasse is that the restoration of the powers to control the bureaucrats in the hands of the chief minister. He must be allowed to write their reports. Okay. He must be allowed, given the permission to do the transfers.
All this has been beating them up.
Well, I don't think he has beaten them up.
Okay, so no beating up of bureaucrats, but the right to have their ACR. That's an immediate solution. Look, it is a mess, and we have to try and find an answer to the mess. Whatever the immediate politics are, these are long-term issues, long-term questions which need to be addressed. And let's hope somewhere along all of this political bickering, we will find some long-term answers. That's it on this episode of The Big Fight. We'll be back next week.